Hello and thanks for watching. As you know, there are quite a few things going on in our district right now, on top of the already important things you do each and every day for our students and our families. We now know that there will be a tax levy on the ballot on April 4th, and you'll be hearing much more about that in the coming days and weeks. We also, of course, know that Dr. Williams will be retiring at the end of this year, and our Board of Education will be leading a search for the next superintendent. What you may not realize, however, is that we're also in the midst of strategic planning, an important process that will guide the direction of our schools for the next 3 to 5 years. These plans have historically been created at the district level without much real ownership from the schools, which, if we're being honest, is why most of you probably have very little idea what's been in those plans. Real school improvement rarely happens from top-down or even bottom-up thinking, however. If we work from the middle out instead, recognizing the valuable leadership we have at the school levels, we think that we can and will create a living, breathing plan instead of a document that sometimes just feels like it's part of a hoop-jumping process. So if this strategic planning process is so important, you might ask, why now? Why would we do this when we're already so busy? I get it. It's a fair question. But I personally think that we can't afford not to do it now. I'll explain that here. Number one, the planning process actually started last spring, and we've been listening intently with our staff, students, parents, and community members with an eye and an ear toward the future. Strategic planning has historically involved in our district 15, 20, 30 people on a steering committee with options for others to get involved once the skeleton is in place. Our framework this time has actually started and has been drafted after listening to hundreds of people, starting with our Teaching and Learning Summit last spring and continuing through staff and administrative meetings, numerous surveys. You've completed some of those, I'm sure, community events, and finally our recent listening tours. The work we've done thus far hopefully is yours, and it hopefully reflects the thinking that you have about schools and where we should be going. But we need your input before going further. Next up, amidst the uncertainty we have in our district around finances and leadership, I think we honestly are searching for some clarity and direction, a unifying purpose that we can all rally around and support. Next, our task force plan was given to us last spring, and it has to connect to our current strategic plan, and currently that's not the case. I also think that our strategic plan must provide direction for the use of technology in our schools. You know better than I do that we can't afford to put off technology decisions much longer, but these decisions must be driven by effective pedagogy and with a strong sense of purpose. Finally, any superintendent candidate will undoubtedly want to see what we're all about in Kirkwood. They'll want to see a plan, and the board will want to make our best candidates lay out a vision on how they can make our plan become a reality. Now, my email also includes a link to a brief survey and an invitation to participate in one or more meetings to add meat to our current framework. We've currently organized our work around the idea of a future-ready student, and we'd love your thoughts about this. It should take no more than 2 to 5 minutes to complete, I promise, and all staff are invited to participate because every single one of you plays an important role in the education of our students. We've added a question about your job role simply because some have wondered if planning needs to look different at different levels. We'll close the survey next Monday, so you have almost a week to do it, and I promise to share results next week. That's it. Thanks so much for your time, and thanks so much for all you do every day for our students and our families.